Hello everyone, welcome back to Triangle Review. Today I'm in the Broadway Triangle neighborhood of Brooklyn. This is a triangular neighborhood, not a triangular park. Within this triangular neighborhood there are 3 triangular parks. Harmony Triangle, Lindsay Triangle, the Union and Marcy Triangle. So this episode is a triple triangular spectacular. This neighborhood's actually perched in between 3 other Brooklyn neighborhoods that would be Bushwick, Williamsburg, and Bedford-Stuyvesant. The corners of this triangle also all meet at subway stations. You got the Broadway G station, G is for gas, and then there's the Flushing Avenue JM and also the Flushing Avenue G. I saw someone describe it as simultaneously Brooklyn's no man's land and the site of overlapping and contentious territorial claims. Most recently, this neighborhood was actually featured on New York City's featured projects section of their housing development website. But now the development is actually underway to construct 5 entirely new affordable buildings with 387 new apartments. Walking around the neighborhood, you can tell that there is a lot of work going on. There's heavy construction pretty much on all corners, which is cool. I guess it's better than empty lots and whatnot. You find it's definitely noisy because there's so many intersections. It seems to be a popular spot for trucks. Pretty much half, if not more, of the whole southern part of this neighborhood is this old Pfizer factory. I think if you hang out here for a while, you'll find it's a bunch of overlapping cultures. There's a lot of Jewish people living in this neighborhood. There's also a lot of Hispanic people I've seen and a lot of black people. So, sort of the triangular meeting of cultures. There's a lot of intersections. There's like a lot of weird triangle bump outs. There's a lot of different ways you can go. It's definitely a little bit disorienting. Luckily at our first triangular park, the Harmony Triangle, there's a compass in the ground along with this turtle. It's actually very useful for orienting yourself. So this way is north. So this is on sort of the western side of the neighborhood. So this right here is the Harmony Triangle, as I mentioned. The name Harmony Triangle is actually a combination of the 3 street names going on around it. So we got Harrison Avenue, Middleton Street, and Union Avenue, which creates Harmony. Benjamin Harrison and Arthur Middleton, 2 of the names, were political leaders during the American Revolution, and they actually signed the Declaration of Independence. So this is a pretty cool little name drop. It came under jurisdiction of the Parks Department in the 1960s when a new city charter designated all of the mid-street triangles as parks property. The website points out that harmony also means consistent, orderly, or pleasing arrangement of parts, and I'd say that describes this triangle pretty well. It's got this really tall yardarm flagpole, sort of barely pokes above the trees, which I appreciate. It doesn't have grass. The website says it has grass, but it doesn't. Yeah, you can go into this triangle if you want to, but there's not really grass. It's all just kind of shrubbery, overgrown. I went in for a little bit and got bit by a bunch of mosquitoes, so I don't really recommend it as a place to hang out, unfortunately. But it has potential. Like, the design is good. This turtle is really cool. I appreciate the compass. The flagpole is great, but it's like nobody's taking care of the garden itself, which is disappointing. No, aesthetic quality, I'm gonna go 4 out of 10 because I don't know, it could look way nicer. Technicality, the neighborhood's it's got some stuff going on. There's people walking around, but there are no benches in the park, unfortunately. The most useful part is, in fact, the compass. Tacticality, I'm also gonna go 5. Triangularity, this triangle really shines. I'm not gonna lie to you. It definitely has an obtuse angle coming out of the intersection of Middleton and Harrison. I counted 9 trees, which works with the triangularity because 9 divides by 3. The way it cuts out here is sort of diamond-like, but I'd say it all works together. Triangularity, this park's really strong. I'm gonna go 10 out of 10 triangularity. Harmony Triangle, 4 plus 5 plus 10, 19 out of 30. Now that's only one triangle in the triple triangular spectacular. Make sure you tune into the other ones and check out all of the triangles. Lindsay Triangle. This triangle is named for New York City Mayor John V. Lindsay. He was the mayor from 1965 to 1973. He also began a movement to preserve the city's few green spaces, what we call like a pocket park, which isn't a triangular park. It's more rectangular, but it fits into the middle of a block. Those are pretty cool too. The land for this triangle was donated on July 22nd, 1868. Absolutely ancient. It was donated under the stipulation that no building was ever to be erected here. By 1933, it wasn't as popular anymore because the above-ground train was built, so the triangle got really dirty. So the city obtained approval from the donor's heir, named Peter Wyckoff, to pave over the property. And then in 1998, Parks Commissioner Henry J. Stern renamed the triangle in honor of Mayor Lindsay. The same year, 1998, Mayor Rudolph Giuliani funded a renovation, and he made room for the bus stop and the benches over there. Now, this was, in my mind, a pretty good triangle. It's quite noisy, as I mentioned. Yeah, the trains really never stop running through here, and then there's also 2 bus stops, which means it's got high tacticality. If you want to score it on tacticality, it's got the benches, it's got all the stops. I'm going to give it probably a 8 out of 10 tacticality. Aesthetic quality, it's all pretty much paved over. It does have the cobblestones over there. The trees aren't super well maintained. It's a little boring, but it's not like ugly to look at. Like, it's fine. So, plus I do like the aesthetic of the above ground tracks. So, aesthetic quality, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, which is pretty good. Triangularity, this triangle's pretty strong. You look at it, you can definitely tell it's a triangle. Triangularity, I'm gonna go also 6 out of 10. I think this triangle is triangling. So what was that? That was a 6, and an 8. So that's a 20 out of 30 triangle for the Lindsay Triangle. That feels pretty good. This is a pretty good triangle. This is the 3rd triangle out here. This is the Union and Marcy Triangle. This triangle does not have a sign, unfortunately, but it does have the Union Ave and Marcy Ave street sign, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna count that for now. This triangle doesn't have any information on the website either. It's right next to where all of the housing development is going up. It's a huge area for construction. It also looks like everything in the park has been chopped down recently. So perhaps there's some new growth coming in this triangle and in the neighborhood, and perhaps this triangle deserves a sign. So why don't we get a sign out here? This triangle is also the closest triangle to the childhood home of Jay-Z, with the Marcy houses just like a block over that way. Aesthetic quality, this triangle has like good bones, but it's not looking great right now. Everything's chopped down, which does mean someone's been out here taking care of it at least. Yeah, I appreciate the way the cobbles paved the garden here, and I think if you put some effort in, this would be really nice. Aesthetic quality, I'm gonna go with probably a 4. Right now it's not looking great. I could see it being good, but what are the odds? So for tacticality, unfortunately this triangle is right next to this construction site right now. It's super duper loud. There's not a lot else going on. It is pretty close to the childhood home of Jay-Z though, so there's a chance Jay-Z came here, and there's benches on 2 of the 3 sides. Tacticality, 5 out of 10. And then the big one, triangularity. Now this triangle is pretty triangular, but none of the 3 sides are the same length. That being said, none of the corners are chopped off, which is good. So triangularity, it's another 5 out of 10. So this is a 15 out of 30 triangle, the Union and Marcy Triangle. If Jay-Z can confirm he visited this triangle, then I'll bump it up 10 points to a 25. Thank you.